Hi, Johnson. This is Will again in a recorded video message with the camera that is working now, although who knows. I'm sorry for that, and I think because of that, I had kind of wanted to make a quick little video blog for that sake, but then I think also just because I couldn't be there in person, and to make up for that, I just wanted to kind of even talk about myself even more quickly here. So thank you again to you and Keith for taking the time to interview me. And one observation that I had was the size of the breaker box or kill switch behind you guys that seemed to be that of the entire camp. It was huge and kind of funny. So anyway, I suppose a lot of this stuff is kind of related to my resume, but I will try and go quickly and make it fresh and new. So I went to boarding school in New Hampshire, in Wolfboro, New Hampshire, at a school called Brewster Academy on Lake Winnipesaukee. My parents had moved to Ukraine, and it just became apparent that it was probably best for me to stay and finish high school, so sophomore, junior, and senior year, in the United States. And I did that, and it was a good experience. It was kind of a world that I wasn't familiar with, prep school, but also New England, and finished up there and taught skiing for a year, and found myself living in Portland, Oregon, where I participated on a Knowles course in Alaska. And I'd been relatively outdoorsy as a child. I'd gone to a canoe camp in Canada that was pretty remote and pretty rustic, and 17 or 18 day, canoe trips, carrying all your own food when I was 11, 12, and 13. And it wasn't Kuwaitan, but it was a good experience. I'd kind of gotten away from it in high school just because summers were busy doing other things, and to have this opportunity to do a Knowles course and to go to Alaska and do sea kayaking and backpacking, it was a tremendous experience, and it was a good reminder of why I enjoy the outdoors, and I guess a bit of kicking yourself for having kind of thought it there wasn't a place for it when I was in high school, or not finding the time for it as much in high school. And from there, I went to Patagonia and did another Knowles course, and again, a tremendous experience. A lot of hard skills there. I think that long of an exposure to any organization, especially Knowles in this case, you find frustrations and critiques of it, and I think especially with Knowles, well, having gone on to study it at school, this idea of outdoor education and adventure recreation, it kind of painted it in a different light. I think they struggle with inclusivity, and maybe their approach to the hard skills is not always conducive to personal growth at times. Anyway, it was good, and through it, I learned of Camp Mara Vista, and went there, finished the Knowles course in March, and was in New Hampshire by June, where I think assumed I would be the leader extraordinaire, having had this experience. It was interesting, the kind of the dichotomy of having been a student for 6 months, and now suddenly I was in a leadership position, and I had good hard skills and soft skills too, but I was humbled by the amount that I needed to learn and wanted to learn, and the people around me, the things that they could teach me. And a month of staff training was tremendous. And so for that summer and the next, the not only the trips, the trip to Nova Scotia doing biking was a great way to end the first summer, but it was also having the kids going into ninth grade who, in doing a smattering of 2 or 3 night trips of canoeing and biking and hiking, I really really enjoyed it. I really did, and I got to work with really good people, and going back a second summer, and then being in school at Penn State, and to be studying in an academic setting that which I had experienced. So to be studying recreation, park, and tourism management when a focus on this adventure recreation component of it. And at school, I think, as higher education should be, it was a chance to kind of hone in on what I knew knew I enjoyed, and then to expand on things that kind of were spokes from that central idea. So conservation and international conservation and land management and conservation as a form of development. So all these things really interested me, and I think you can't you can't be doing everything at once. So when it came time for me to graduate, do an internship, I chose to do it in northern Michigan, where my mother's parents are from, and if we were living in Australia or Denmark or Ukraine, just to name a few, we would always come back here, and it was kind of a constant. So to be able to find a land trust where I could do an internship, and in an area that I also had personal affection for, and that is beautiful, and that is at risk for a tremendous amount of, I'm saying tremendous a lot, of development. It was great to be here and to do 12 weeks of an internship that were mainly focused on stewardship and the management of land. And I just happened to sit in the education department. That's where there was an open cubicle, and they needed help one day, and so I just went out and I helped with a decomposition program. And I got back, and what was that tingling feeling and sense of joy? Well, it was doing outdoor education again, and kind of like when I went to Knowles and remembered the canoe camp. It was not that I'd totally shunned outdoor education, but that I just thought I'd moved on to other things, and it was good to be back. And when they offered me a position for January, I took it immediately. And so this winter we've done programs with snowshoeing and winter tracks and signs, and pre-K through 5th grade, and then 6th grade, and some high school programs as well in nature photography and wilderness survival. But 1,700 kids and 82 programs. So it's been the quantity, the breadth of our programs is pretty impressive, and to be able to have the school bus show up, have the entire class come off the bus, and for an hour and a half, have them in the woods. And if they haven't been snowshoeing before, which a lot of them haven't, now they have. So that's really great, and doing it on our properties. And spring programs are much more varied, but the same idea, the same concept of the bus rolling up. And then summer, they're much more specific, and it's for people who can make it in the middle of the day in the summer. The parents have to come. And that's something that I've been put in charge of planning these programs. And while they've been done and repeated for many summers before, my boss is looking to change a lot of these things, and she's kind of tasked me with not reinventing the wheel, but how can I change these summer programs? She would like it to look more like a day camp. And that can't all happen in one summer, but it's nice to be able to have input into how we can, as they say, move the needle towards that idea. We're not going to get an environmental center by June, but we can certainly form our schedule around a more, with continuity of Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday programs, just little things like that. So to be on that side of the planning and logistics has been a good experience. I think with that, and for me personally right now, I'm interested in working for an organization that has figured that part out, and an organization that can balance that, the duality of adventure recreation with education and using the outdoors as the classroom. And so that is why I'm interested in Chewonki. 9 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm going to stop this. I've put the questions below. Thanks again. Take care. Bye.